Hi, my name is Shira Rubinoff. I'm here with General Manager of Duo Security, Doug Song.
Hello.
And Doug, I'll start off by congratulations on Cisco's recent acquisition of your company.
Thank you so much.
And let's just jump right in. Please tell me why you think that Cisco was interested in acquiring your company.
Yeah, so I think, Cisco's been on an amazing journey to the cloud with a lot of modern products that it's assembled and integrated very well into probably the largest cloud-delivered offering, right, of any of the security vendors out there. But Duo helped to fill a gap, right, in the portfolio, extending a lot of the controls and visibility that Cisco has built out over many years on the network, now off-network, into the cloud and other environments, again, where traditionally you can't really put a firewall or a network device. And so we've helped to complete a lot of that story for Cisco, and we've done it in a way I think is very different than maybe a lot of the other vendors that you've seen here.
Well, let's ask that question.
Right.
How do you differ?
So, a lot of why I think Cisco has been interested in us, among all the companies that it could have, looked to pick up and integrate, is because truly we've worked really hard to make security easy and effective.
Exactly.
And the easy is actually a hard thing to do, it turns out. A lot of these technologies like two-factor authentication with hardware tokens have been around since the 80s. They've existed for all that time, but has found very little adoption, right, more broadly in the market, because it's so cumbersome and difficult and frustrating to use. And so by making it really simple for companies to not only deploy, manage, but also use, we've been able to widen the market for strong authentication and help companies, big and small, protect themselves from breach.
Well, that's certainly important, and I could see why Cisco wanted to acquire you guys, so congratulations.
Thank you.
And certainly as two-factor authentication moves more into the future, where do you think your next steps will be? What do you see two-factor authentication turning into or maturing into?
Yeah, so a large part of what our journey has been, and that with Cisco, we're on a shared journey is around what we call trusted access. And so verifying the identity of users is really just the first step in helping to secure access based on not only who that user is and what they're entitled to access, but also what the security posture of that device is, and whether it's a safe device, right, to access a resource no matter where it sits, in the cloud, in a data center, or on-premise. And so the larger journey for us has been to help protect customers in what we call zero trust environments, whether it's cloud, mobile, or contractor, third-party access, vendor management, consultants. We're able to help bridge the gap around what are really enterprise use cases where you don't have traditionally enterprise control. And that's something I think that on this journey that we're on to help not only accelerate Cisco's journey to the cloud, but all of its customers, that's where I think we can help be a catalyst.
Interesting you mentioned zero trust. I talk a lot about cyber hygiene within an organization. Besides training and awareness and patching and security, zero trust is critical for all organizations today. And they talk about you have to authenticate the person. There has to be, how do you identify somebody? How do you know they are who they say they are? So certainly this is going to be a very big, important piece in the zero trust component, and that's all everyone's talking about.
Well, I think it's long overdue.
Yes.
I think folks, I'm really happy to hear that you've been talking about hygiene, because I think a lot of folks have not, right? All this stuff around this conference, you see stuff about this or that advanced attacker or extremely sophisticated techniques. The reality is that most breaches happen due to the same basic failures of stolen passwords, a compromised credential, or compromised endpoints. And we fall victim to the same known attacks over and over again, and really getting the basics right and the focus on the fundamentals, we believe, is the most important thing to do before you go and tackle all the more complicated things in security that you could do. Because at the end of the day, you can't just keep trying to fill a leaky bucket, right?
You can't, and going back to basics, that's where you got to start. I think people are too busy putting patches over problems. And when I say patches, I don't mean the right type of patches. I mean, let's put a Band-Aid on it, let's fix it, instead of going back to the basics and starting to build it from the ground up. So certainly where Duo comes in, that's going to be a critical piece of zero trust and authenticating and certain identity.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's so nice to learn about your company, and I look forward to hearing a lot more about Duo Security and Cisco. Thank you, Doug.
Great, thank you, Shira.
Thank you.
All right.